St. Paul's Episcopal Church was incorporated on the 18th of August in 1856. Its present building was opened for services on Christmas 1875. The history of the parish reflects a story of dedication and devoted service by countless faithful parishioners and of a transition from a pioneer village to a complex modern parish. St. Paul's serves the religious needs of a diverse membership from the community at large, from Northern Michigan University and from the former Sawyer Air Force Base. It welcomes both liberal as well as conservative viewpoints, which continue to shape its pattern of worship and other activities. A greater community consciousness and outreach were realized in the years 1907, 1908 and 1909. It was a period of planning, financing and opening the Guildhall. The Reverend Bates Burt, father of our own John Burt, the retired Bishop of Ohio, guided the building of the hall. The building would cost $15,000 and Peter White donated $5,000 toward it. Reverend Burt, who was the most enthusiastic about the project, said, "There is presently no institutional program for keeping young boys off the street and surrounding them with uplifting experiences, and that such a hall would help to offset the many evil influences that now surround them." Beside the swimming pool and gym, there were pool and billiard tables, bowling alleys, reading room, an assembly room with a stage, and an archery range on the upper floor. Nearly 200 applications for gym classes had been received. Going to church was essential to the community in those days. The church was growing in numbers, as was Marquette. Some of the early settlers had become wealthy and influential, whose family lives often revolved around church activities. By 1906, many of the first generation had died or moved to larger geographical areas. Their children continued the tradition of improvement and growth within the church. In 1908, Peter White died while on a business trip in Detroit. This marked the end of an era. He was 18 when he arrived in Marquette and only 26 when St. Paul's was incorporated. In those early years of the 20th century, there was a world war and flu epidemic which prompted the people of St. Paul's to finish the interior of the main sanctuary of the church. They purchased Liberty bonds and used the redeemed bonds valued at $5,000 to pay the debt. They began to change the interior of the church in 1919 and 1920. St. Paul's was to be a cathedral, and the intention was to make it appear even more assuming. The nave and chancel were painted in the ornate European tradition with darker walls, dark woodwork, and floors